The Fiat 500 is up there with the Mini when it comes to iconic small cars, and just like the Mini, it was reinvented for the 21st century. And now, again, like the Mini, it's embracing electrification. This is the 2021 Fiat 500, a subtly updated and now fully electric take on the iconic small car. Key to the new Fiat 500's appeal is its price tag. This is a small electric car that, after the government grant has been taken into account, starts from less than £20,000. If you've got a bit more money to spend, there are bigger batteries and plusher specs on offer, and you can even order one with a folding fabric roof, just like this one. Fiat has also announced an additional 3+1 version of the electric 500, with a small rear hinged back door on one side that gives easier access to the rear seats. For now, this version is for left-hand drive markets only. Fiat is looking into its UK market viability, but says that a third door would have to stay on the wrong side of the car. The style-conscious buyers that this car is so squarely aimed at will love what Fiat has done here. Don't you think it just looks absolutely fantastic in the metal? The designers have kind of done just enough to keep that iconic shape without diluting the formula too much. Take this front end, for example, it's now completely smooth, which hints at this car's electric powertrain. The headlights, they've been updated with fresh LEDs, whilst if you take a look down the side, I think you'd be hard-pressed to tell this car apart from its predecessor, apart from this gorgeous chrome beltline that runs all the way around to the boot lid. Now, overall, we think this is a classic design that's kind of retro without feeling too cute. What do you reckon? Let us know in the comments below. And it's a similar story in here. The old petrol 500 was really starting to show its age. Okay, it had been updated a few times since it launched back in 2008, but in terms of design and tech, it was some way off the class best. But now, Fiat has brought the 500 bang up to date. Okay, it's perhaps not as overwhelmingly digital or as nicely built as a Honda E, but in terms of design, it's got the Mini licked. Every version gets this 7-inch digital instrument cluster, but the very cheapest Action trim makes do with the smartphone cradle on the dash. To get this huge 10.25-inch display, you'll need to bypass the 7-inch screen on the Passion model and upgrade to the Icon spec. We'll come back to the trims in a little more detail later. Elsewhere, whilst quality is a little bit patchy in places because you do get some scratchier plastics lower down matched with some really nice leather on the steering wheel and some lovely seats, there are some cool touches like this electric door release, and the digital dials look great. The central screen is miles better than anything we've seen in a Fiat before, and you get these piano keys underneath which control everything to do with the climate control. So back to those specs and standard equipment. Entry-level Action cars don't get much in the way of luxury kit. You get halogen headlamps instead of LEDs, parking sensors instead of a reversing camera, and air conditioning as opposed to climate control. These models only come with the smaller 24 kWh battery too, meaning you're stuck with a range of just 115 miles, and that is according to official tests. Even the Mini Electric and Honda E will manage more. You do get 50 kW fast charging on every Fiat, however, as well as a Mode 2 cable for topping up at public charge points. Step up to the Passion spec for around £3,500, and as well as a larger 42 kWh battery and a more generous 186 to 199 mile range, you'll also get that all-important touchscreen with DAB radio, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus cruise control, climate control and split folding rear seats. You'll be able to charge at 85 kW rather than 50 kW chargers too. Moving up the range, Icon adds this lovely 10.25-inch screen seen in our car, as well as 16-inch alloy wheels, keyless entry, automatic wipers and traffic sign recognition. If tech is high on your agenda, then the extra £1,500 is surely well worth it. La Prima sits at the top of the range. It costs £2,000 more than the Icon at a smidge under £27,000 or £30,000 for the convertible, but it adds big car luxury features like wireless smartphone charging, parking camera, LED lights and 17-inch alloy wheels. There are extra driver aids and semi-autonomous tech too. But enough about the specs, what's this new electric Fiat 500 like to drive? Well, I'm pleased to report the news is good, and that's not something I thought I'd be saying about a car with the 500 badge on the nose. You see, the old one was playful, but it was flawed in so many ways. Electric power really suits it though. It feels nippy and agile, even in normal mode, with enough performance for day-to-day driving. But if you're less fussed on outright speed, then there are different drive modes to help you eke out every last mile of electric range. Like the Mini's Green Plus mode, the Fiat has a Sherpa setting which you can adjust via the E-mode drive switch down here on the centre console. Using this setting, it dulls the power from the battery and turns off the aircon so that you get maximum range, whatever the circumstances. Like many electric cars, it is at its best around town for sure, where the light steering makes it super easy to drive. It's perhaps not quite as at home on faster flowing, bendier roads, but it never feels out of its depth, not even on the motorway. The ride is really rather good, where it feels kind of controlled without feeling too soft. Again, it's probably at its best through town, but on the motorway, no complaints at all. Our biggest issue comes with the refinement on this convertible car, where the thin fabric roof does relay noises like wind and even voices around town. We've absolutely no doubt that the hatchback is better in this regard. In our experience, the electric 500 is likely to return closer to 150 or 160 miles on a charge rather than the 186 to 199 miles that Fiat claims. But achieving that real-world range couldn't be easier. Frustratingly, Fiat doesn't publish times for the most popular 7kW wall boxes, but says those with faster 3-phase 11kW electricity can recharge to full in 4 hours and 15 minutes. Given a 3-pin plug takes a little over 15 hours, we can assume those with a 7kW setup could do the same job in 8 to 9 hours. But every 500 also comes with at least 50kW rapid charging, matching the Mini in this regard. The entry-level Fiat with its smaller battery will recharge from 0 to 80% or around 90 miles in 30 minutes. Go for one of the bigger battery cars, and while they offer substantially more range, the faster onboard charger means they'll get to 80% or around 160 miles in 35 minutes. Now, if you're in the market for a car like this, practicality is unlikely to be too much of a sticking point. But that said, the Fiat's main rival, the Honda, does have a set of rear doors which will make life so much easier if you're regularly throwing things or kids in the back. Now, I'm going to save us all the pain of trying to get into those back seats on camera, but believe me, it is pretty tight back there. Boot space is pretty poor too. This is obviously the convertible version, so its pillar box boot is even tighter than the hatchbacks. If you go for that model, then you'll get 185 litres, which is smaller even than the space you'll find in a Mini Electric. However, like that car, the seats split down the middle, so long as you avoid the basic Action model, which does make it easier to carry big, bulky items. It feels wrong to end on a negative, so here are a load of plus points. The new Fiat 500 is a fantastic electric car. It might be 12 months late to the small, fashionable EV party, but it does just enough to trump its rivals for all-round appeal. The entry price draws you in, but in reality it's the mid-spec models that make most sense. It's got a strong kit list, a decent real-world range, and an irrefutably cool retro image. This new Fiat 500 is one of the most exciting and ultimately accomplished cars of 2020. Head to DrivingElectric.com for all the latest electric and hybrid car advice, news and reviews, and check us out on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Finally, while you're here, make sure you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on notifications to ensure you never miss a video.